right now. Secret identity. What up, Ken?
What's going on, man? There's no on the live feed. Listen, there's static on the live feed. The live feed, there's no audio.
What'd you say?
You say?
All right, whatever you just did, you fixed it. The live feed now has audio. Before it was just static. All of your opening commentary, nobody could hear it.
Really? Okay, my bad. All right. Technical difficulties already. All right. So I'll do a quick rewind. Welcome to Real Talk with the director of the Jedi Council. I'm the director. Being that you guys couldn't hear me, I'm going to just run down what I said before, which basically is rest in peace to Naya Rivera. As we know, the body was found of Naya Rivera on the lake, and we want to give a shout out, not a shout out, but a rest in peace, condolences to her family, her friends, and everyone who loved Naya Rivera. Very unfortunate thing. We'll talk about that briefly. Janelle Monae is campaigning hard to play Storm in the MCU. We'll unpack that. We'll also unpack, like I said, we got to talk about it. We got to touch on it, and that is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, unfortunately, are the talk of the town right now. Hashtag entanglement. And we'll unpack that a little bit as well, because it is it is TV movie stars, right? And yeah, we'll talk other stuff, movie news and things like that. So sorry about the technical difficulties, anyone who couldn't hear me the first time around. So I just did my rundown again, and we'll get right into the show. That's what's up. Let's check in on the people in the chat rooms, see if y'all can hear me. Can you guys hear me out there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We'll see in a minute. Yep, there they go. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat room, all of the heavy hitters that came through. They always supporting. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Shout out to the people over at in Facebook, on the Facebook live stream. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And Kev, I tell you, brother, there's a lot to unpack tonight. And let me see if I can bring Ralph in. He's on Blog Talkers. Oh, I want to give a happy birthday shout out to our boy Ralph, man. Happy birthday to Ralph. He was just celebrating his birthday weekend. We definitely want to give a shout out and happy birthday to him. So let's see. Let me just give me a minute here. Maybe if I could hear Ralph. Because I don't think he'll be able to call in. I think he's still traveling on the way back. So we'll see if we can hear Ralph. Boom, boom. Ralph, can you hear me? He said, I heard him, but I can't hear him that good.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, bro. I appreciate you, man. So happy birthday, brother. No doubt. Let's see if we can put him on for everybody else. Go ahead, Ralph. Say that again, bro. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not hearing Ralph too well, but I want to get to the show. We'll get back to it. And Ralph, if you will you have an opportunity to call in on the live stream? I know you're probably traveling right now. Will you have an opportunity to call in on the live stream? Hmm. Hmm. All right. Well, we'll see if we can get him on there. Well, Kev, you still with us, right?
I'm still here.
All right, good. All right. Here's what it is, man. Here's what it is, man. Let's get to it, man. Naya Rivera, as we know, was the other day went missing, and she was out swimming, boating with her son, and she was. We don't know. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to say that she fell in, she jumped in. I don't know. We still don't know what happened, actually. You know, the only account we have is her son. When the first report that I saw, they said that her son was found in the boat. He was actually like sleeping or whatever, and he said that his mom went into the water and it didn't come back up. And then then other reports said that they were swimming and she never got back in the boat. But I mean, it's just weird. The whole situation is weird. I'm not gonna really dig into it and try to speculate, and I'm not gonna try to, like I said, I'm not gonna try to speculate and be like, oh, this, that, and the other, and theories and stuff. But it's just it's a little. He's a 4-year-old child, so I mean, I can't imagine him being able to climb back into the boat on his own. You know what I mean? If he even got out the boat, you know. Some people, in the chat room, they're dropping in stuff saying that, she might have put him in the boat, and we don't have the full story yet, but either way, whatever the story is, it's tragic. And the fact of the matter remains that she has lost her life, and she was only 33 years old. We remember Naya from Glee. That's what she's most famous for. The character Santana, which was one of my favorite characters in the show. Yeah, she was always, and then of course she was dating Big Sean for a little while. She got married after that relationship. I believe she just recently, like in the last few years, they got divorced. But the young child that's with her is the one that came from that relationship. So it's all tragic, man, because the fact that the poor young boy had to experience that, whatever it is, he had to experience it. We don't know exactly how it went down, but however it went down, he had to experience it, and it's tragic, man. That's something that stays with you. And he's young, yes, but I don't know. It's traumatic things stay with you, bro. We just want to. I hope everybody, whoever you pray to, whatever God you pray to, whatever you pray to, whatever force you pray to, send some prayers for that family and that young man, because that is just, it's too much, man. This is not a good thing at all. And as as reports come in, I always like to say, when stuff like this happens, it's just like when Kobe and anybody, when stuff like this happens, save the speculation until we can get things sorted out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, I've heard people have already text me and saying, yeah, she could have been in suicide. I'm like, what? Like where you get this from? Yeah,
that is the most ignorant thing that anybody could ever say. Yeah. She's with her son out swimming. Do you honestly think if she was going to kill herself, that she's going to put her son in danger?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
At a lake, nonetheless.
Yeah, in the lake. Yeah. So I mean, it just seems like what it is, a freak accident. We don't know how good, what could have happened. She could have hit her head or something, anything. She obviously could swim, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if she was a good swimmer or not, but there's a lot of things that happen. It's just like, a few months back that I think it was a wrestler. Remember, he went out with his son and they were swimming. They got caught like in riptide or something and pulled out to sea. And when the lifeguard came, he told the lifeguard save his son. You know what I'm saying? And the lifeguard did save his son. His son was older. His son was maybe I don't know, 10 or something like that. He was older than this kid. And unfortunately, the man ended up drowning. And, but of course, he told them to save his son, and they did, So I just think that, you can never tell with these things, man. I personally, I'm not even giving my opinion on it. I feel bad about this whole situation, man. And for the kid to have to witness that or experience it whatsoever, it's just not a good thing, man. So we definitely, and I loved her in Glee too. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of my favorite characters. I'm not saying she wasn't the favorite. I didn't really have a favorite character in Glee, but she was one of them. I had a few. I had her and Puckerman. It's just crazy. Like the ones that was my favorite characters. That is the third cast member from this show that is now no longer with us. Two of them, unfortunately, came through suicide. And that's probably why the idiot that texted me or sent me whatever. It wasn't a text. It was like a Facebook thing. Probably just, thought that maybe that was the case too. But either way, two of my favorite characters are no longer with us, as the actors are no longer with us. So I think in honor of her, I'll do a little Glee binge watch maybe next weekend. And just, it's funny. I'm a Gleek. I used to watch the show. But for whatever reason, and my son always laughs at me about this, because my son was really into it. For whatever reason, I never finished the final season. It's like I was in denial. I didn't want to see it. Like the final season of Glee was, I don't know what happened because I never watched it. So it was like my son's like, you ain't watched the final season of Glee yet? I'm like, nah, man, I ain't interested in watching it. I didn't want it to end like that, and so I don't even know. So I guess what I'll do is I'll watch the final episodes of the final season. I don't even know if I watched any of the final season. I know that they did like a time jump on like the finale. I might have watched some of the season, but I definitely did not watch the finale. I think they might do like a time jump, you know what I'm saying? In the finale, where you see like what happened to them as they, grew up and started life and stuff. I mean, I'll have to check it out. Now I got to check it out because that's like I said, this is a crazy, crazy situation. So we'll get more comments on that a little later. I wanted to move to Janelle Monae real quick. And well, actually, we'll push Janelle Monae to third because I can go right from her to the MCU talk that we want to talk about. So we'll jump to Mr. and Mrs. Smith real quick.
I'm going to mute myself at this point.
So Kev's muting himself because he doesn't want to talk. Let me tell you, I'm going to say this because this has been beating a dead horse, right? So I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. Okay. First thing, what people do in their marriage, I could care less. There's always been rumors of them having an open marriage, then they denied it, and this, that, and the other. We don't know. Maybe they do. don't care. That's not really my thing, right? But if that's what makes you happy, you want to have an open marriage, you want to have a polygamous relationship, whatever you want to do, that's your biz. What I didn't like about it, and actually, shout out to Jen Garcia. She mentioned it on her live earlier on the block with Jen. She mentioned it earlier this week or last week. I kind of share the same attitude with that. What I have a problem with is Jada and Will. They both made it very, very clear that August Alsina was allegedly like sick when he came there and mentally, like mental health, right? So my issue is, and then she goes and has this affair. Let's call it what it is. It's not an entanglement. It's an affair. So she
was entangled and she was twisted in her feelings. Leave the word alone. She was entangled. She is entitled to be entangled.
Entangled, yeah. She was, yeah, okay. She may have been entangled. August might have had her ass entangled, but that's a whole nother thing. But the point is, she gets into this affair with August, and now you get into this affair, and if you go back to the August Alsina interview, he don't look like, because Will and Jada was like breaking their arms, patting themselves on their backs, saying how much they helped him. He didn't look like they helped him to me. He looked worse than what he probably was when he came there, because the dude is like, distraught and, look like he's about to cry. You hear the cracking in his voice. You hear like the cracking in the voice.
Therapist, God damn it. I said I was going to mute myself. I'm not muting myself. Get a goddamn therapist. Listen, why are you airing your shit out? Angela Yee asked you a question. Your answer should have been no comment. No Emma effing comment. Listen, I don't got nothing to say. I'm not exposing. I ain't putting a woman's business out in the street. I'm going to talk to my therapist about it. I'm going to Charlemagne the God right now. I'm going to talk to my therapist about it. Yeah. My anxiety is on 100. So I'm going to talk to my therapist.
Well, he should have did that. But I mean, it is what it is. He brought it out there. And he said that, he was kind of, he had to get out of that situation, and he's this, and his mental health was at stake, and his life. And he's just like talking like, yo, this dude is messed up. So obviously, getting back to my point, Jada, so you start messing with this dude because she pulled the Holly Berry Monsters ball and said, I just wanted to feel good. And I'm like, okay. So but you're messing with this dude who supposedly has, mental, little emotional, whatever he was, distraught person. He was sick, as you said. That's kind of exhibiting a little bit of predatory behavior there. I mean, he's a beach.
Where's Me Too at?
Exactly. Where's Me Too at? He's like, I mean, okay, he's a consenting adult, but the whole thing is, it's not about the sexual part of it. It's the relationship part of it, or the entanglement part of it. That's what really messed him up, because he already said, he acknowledged that they were, they have made their transition from marriage to life partners, and they were no longer like romantically involved. This dude honestly believes she was probably going to be with him and leave Will.
You know what it is? It's like Big Worm. Why are you playing with my emotions?
Yeah.
She played with the boys' emotions.
Play with the boys' emotions. I mean, and I love, the thing with Jada is she's so, and people have said that before, she's very slick with her words. She's a wordsmith almost, you know what I mean? And she knows how to manipulate, really. People have said it before, and how she says, like, if you listen to her and didn't know anything about this, you think this affair happened like 10 years ago, the way she says it. Oh, it's so long ago. Like, what? It wasn't that long ago. So you think the shit was 10 years ago?
Listen,
Yeah.
for her it is. For her it is, because she got what she wanted.
Yeah.
She got her mind right.
Yeah.
She got a little. She got a little dingle-ling-a-ling, and she moved on and left boy homeboy out to dry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what she did. And dude is like all messed up now. So you shouldn't have, if you were supposed to have been concentrating on helping this dude, yeah, you helped him all right. Helped him out of his pants and helped him into your bed. So I understand that. It's all good. I ain't mad at you. You know, whatever. You want to get you some young stud, whatever. Do what you gotta do. But the point is, what I have a problem with is the whole situation of him supposed to be being so sick. And you're gonna go ahead and make it worse by getting into a relationship, not entanglement, with him. And now he's even worse now. So that's my problem. And my biggest problem, or my third problem with her, is this is like the third time that she's publicly humiliated Will Smith. I feel bad for Will. I mean, it's funny to say that. It's hard. I very rarely say that I feel bad for millionaires. I just very rarely say that, even though they're people too and they have problems too. We know that. But I very rarely say I feel sorry for millionaires. I kind of feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I feel kind of bad for them because this whole thing here, and like I said, I mean, he may not be no angel, but we don't know that. There's never been a confirmation of that, and he's never publicly humiliated her. So, the first time around is when the whole thing with Pac, and how he was talking about how her relationship with Pac, and of course she'll take it to the grave that her and Pac was never romantically involved. Blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. You're gonna try to take a word for it, but it's the way she acts when even mentioned Tupac, along with Will Smith when he was on the Breakfast Club, basically, saying how insecure and he was about that relationship because of the way their relationship, how close it was. They were
I don't blame her for that though. I think that's more that was more his issue than it was hers, in my opinion, anyway.
Okay, I got you. It's his issue, but once again, like I said, I believe he feels compelled to address it because she's so public with it, as far as her feelings and how she acted. Like every time you mention the word, even though you mentioned the name Tupac, she couldn't talk 2 minutes without busting into tears. And you know what? So because it was so public, it was made so public, and plus everyone already knew, was also made so public that Pac obviously had an affection for her as well. He wrote the poems for her and stuff like that. So he had to. I guess he might have felt like he compelled to address it. He might have felt compelled to address it publicly anyway. So then fast forward from there, Red Table Talk again. He's on the Red Table Talk with his wife, and she mentioned something about him having a drinking problem. And and he was pissed. Will Smith was pissed. He did not
like clear. This was a separate table talk.
Yeah, this is a separate Red Table Talk for people who may or may not know. They're on there talking their little thing out. But if she brings that up, I don't think he was expecting that. And a lot of people weren't, because that was a first for me. Like Will Smith has a drinking problem? Like what? Holy shit, Will tries to keep a certain image up, right? He's just like, as far as that goes, as far as his celebrity, Will Smith. And
that was a jab at his brand.
That was a jab at his brand, which was, kind of messed up. And then so you go with this, where it's like, okay, this happens. They address it because it happened. Now it was out of their control because of August Alsina saying it, but I'm just saying they still had to address it, and still, even with her addressing it, she had to try to come with her slick talk. That's where this hashtag entanglements come from. Get out of here with that crap, man. Just call it what it is.
Listen, she was in her feelings. Her feelings was tangled up, man. I didn't understand what she was trying to say.
I know what she was trying to say. She was trying to be slick like she always try to be. That's what that is. Because she is good with her words. People will tell you that Jada Pinkett could kind of talk anything to a person or talk you in anything because she's that slick with her words, right? So, you know, the entanglement bullshit was like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. And I'm glad Will called her out on that. That's why I know it's BS, because Will called her out on it. He was like, what? Entanglement? Call it what it is. It's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's what you were in. You were in a relationship. So that is what it is, man. Let me see. Ralph is just hitting me up. He's probably trying to talk and we can't hear him. I can't hear him.
He just asked, do you have him on mute?
Let me see. No, I don't. I do not.
No, Ralph, you're not on mute.
So he can't hear me anymore, is what he's saying, I guess. I don't know.
I still hear you. Wait, let me see. I still hear you through.
I still have my mic. My mic is still plugged into Blog Talk. It's just that I can't hear Ralph because he's not coming. You know, that sound is not coming through the speakers for whatever reason. It's not coming through my headphones or my live stream. Excuse me. Well, what I'll do is, I don't know if Ralph is going to be, let me see if he's going to be home at all. He said, I can hear you. You can't hear me. Yeah, that is true. He can hear me. I mean, I can't hear him, but Ralph, I mean, I think Kev, you can hear him, right? Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably why I can't hear him, because he's only on the phone. But I thought I'd be able to hear him, but I don't know. Ralph, I hope you get to a stationary place, man. Call us from your phone. Hit us on the live stream. So wrapping up Jada. Wrapping up Jada's ass. Like I said, man, it's those are the problems I had with it. What they do with their marriage, I could care less. That's what they do. I ain't got a problem with that. I do, because they obviously work.
Ralph said,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Wes, I don't mean to cut you off. Ralph said Will Smith should have slapped her.
Oh my God. Well, here's the deal. And you saw the little jab, little left. I don't know what we jab with. I jab with my left. So you saw the little jab she did at the end of the show, because Will is being Will. He's going to laugh it off. I'm gonna get you back, right? I'm gonna get you back, right? And all this other, and I'm just like, okay. And then she's like, you already did that, or something like that. She says, like, oh, I think you got that covered. See, another jab. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta go there, yo. That, to me, that felt like Jay-Z when in Takeover, when he said to Nas, because you know what, did you know who, did you know what, well, you know who, let's keep that between me and you. That was a little jab, little warning shot to Nas that if you say anything else, I'ma tell everybody what happened. That's how I felt like.
He fired one over his bow.
Yeah, exactly. Fired one over the bow. Same thing here. She fired one over the bow because I think she was saying straight up, okay, I'm gonna get you back. Oh no, I think you got that covered. That's a little jab letting people know, yeah, Will, you've stepped out before. You know what I'm saying? And that was just her saying it without saying it.
Yeah, like Ralph just said, Will didn't care. He was smashing Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Yo, let me tell you something. That's a good look. Yo, man. I guess my final thought on that is, okay, now and unfortunately they become the butt of the joke. Well, he has, not really her. It's pretty much been him. And there's been some funny stuff going on. I'm sorry. There's been some funny things going around. The internet is ruthless and undefeated. So
always undefeated.
Always undefeated. Lord have mercy. I say, yo, some of the stuff is just hilarious. The funniest one lately is the one where the Jamaican one, where they like if they were Jamaican. Oh my God, it is hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. And I'm just like, yo, it's just like somebody doing a Jamaican dude doing a voiceover, doing the voiceover for them. Oh my God, yo, I can't. I might.
He was doing it on the Red Table Tour.
Yeah. This is like somebody. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna have to play it, yo. I got to play. Let me see if I can share my screen, yo, because this shit is. I'm sorry.
Ralph said, you know, Margot Robbie was calling Will Pudding.
Yeah. Yeah, she was calling him Pudding. For real. They worked a couple times, right? They worked on that one joint. And then it was in Suicide Squad together.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, he was calling him Pudding. Yo, let me see if I can play this thing real quick, yo, because this shit was hilarious, yo. I gotta, let me see here. I don't know if hopefully you be able to hear. Tell me if you can hear this. If I could play it.
I decided we were going.
Oh no, this is something else. That's not. Could you hear that though?
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna find it now. Let me find the one with the Jamaicans. Oh my God, that shit was hilarious, dude. Sent it to my man here. Let's find that shit. I have to play it, man, because it was just. I had to.
Ralph just sent the Margot. Ralph just sent the Margot Robbie gift with her winking.
Oh God! All right, listen. Check this out. Check this one out.
Come on, Pudding, do it.
Listen.
As far as what? Do your bun. You decide, say, you're going to bun me back. So what happened? Yeah, and I got into an entanglement with Kaki. An entanglement? Yes. Not the blood clot. You're real content of it. Yeah. I mean, but it's like a Kaki long and it's strong. You do your bun first, but you feel like you're heartless and you're a whore. Listen, I just wanted to feel good. It's been so long since I felt good.
Yeah. Yo. This dude. Yo, that was the funniest thing I've seen in a while.
Yo, you share that. Yo, share that share that in the messenger group.
Yeah, I'm gonna share that in there. Yo. I'm gonna share it right now. Yeah, this dude said, "Oh my God, some of the stuff that let me forward this to the group so Ralph can see it too. Hilarious, dude. Hilarious. Yo, she said he sucked me like mango pit.
He wildin'.
He said, "Yo, he sucked me like mango pit." That's I gotta play one more time. Sorry, one more time. We're gonna do it one more time for everybody who might have missed it. Let's bring it up. Here we go.
You need to say exactly what you have. As far as what? Me give you bun. You decide, say, you go bun me back. So what happened? Yeah, and I got into an entanglement with Kaki. An entanglement. Yes, a dirty blood clot. You're a real cunt, bitch. Yeah, entanglement. I mean, but you said my Kaki love. And it's strong. Me give you bun first, but we feel like you're heartless and you're a whore. I just wanted to feel good. It's been so long since I felt good. Yeah, man, you're evil.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I had to do it. Sorry, Will. I had to do it, man. Yo, that was funny. I'm sorry. That I mean, that's just a bunch of them. You know, there's so many. Then you got the song "Entanglement with August," "Entanglement with August," "Entanglement."
That was funny.
And I'm just like, yo, the internet is always on point, man. They don't play, man. They don't play. It is too funny, yo. So well, you know. This is what happens, dude. This is what happens. Will probably, I'm sure, Will, just like Ralph said, Will got a little bit of that pudding. Well, he's the pudding, right? Got a little bit of that Margot Robbie pudding. Can you blame him? And but obviously, whoever Will may have stepped out with, allegedly, we gotta say that because it's never been proven. We can't say that allegedly with Jada. So Will obviously has his ish under control.
Yeah,
it's straight. Got it. As they say down here in the South, he got his shit straight. His shit is straight. You know what I'm saying? So hey, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I think where Ralph been here. Let me see if Ralph's. Did I miss it? Where is it? Maybe we'll hook
Hold on,
along. Maybe. I don't know, man. Let me tell you. But either way, we don't know. There's nothing been official with who Will may have hooked up with. It's all been reports and speculation and this and that. This has been, you know, an official thing, and just I wanted to just touch on it so we can put it to bed, and that's that. Where do they go from there? Who knows? It's their business. We'll go, you know. But I'm having fun with it because that shit's funny. I'm sorry. That Jamaican shit, that was funny.
that
was
funny, though.
You make me feel like you're heartless and a whore. Yeah, that was great, man. I played that last night maybe 12 times, dude. I was watching it so many times laughing.
He said, what if Will?
What did he say?
He said, what if Will hooked up with Gabrielle Union?
Oh, yeah, right. I know, right? But yo, the funny thing is, I sent that Jamaican thing to every Jamaican person I know. I said, yo, every Jamaican friend I got. Actually, no, I didn't. I need to send it to my boys over here if they ain't seen it yet. Send it over to my boy. Shout out to my boy Julian, the Webbs, Julian, Andrew Webb, Christopher Webb, the whole Webb family. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna send y'all this. If you ain't seen it yet, you gonna get a good laugh at it. I sent it out to some of my other Jamaican friends, man. This shit is hilarious. They every one of them hit me back, cracking up. All I was getting was the laughing, crying emoji coming back in my
wow.
It's just like, yo, that's hilarious. But yeah, that's too funny. Too funny. So moving right along. We're gonna move on. We're gonna get the Smiths out of there because they've been the talk of the town. We had to touch on it. Let's see who else is out here. Anybody left any comments here? You know, if I don't know if there's any more out there, anybody in the chat rooms, y'all got any more? Send them over. I'll watch them and crack up at them. So Janelle Monae, another big hot topic. Janelle Monae is campaigning very hard to be the
yes, she is.
Storm.
Yes, she is.
She's campaigning hard to play Storm.
Yeah.
In the MCU. All right. So here's the issue. Janelle Monae got the tone. She got skin tone for it. Nice complexion. Janelle Monae is a good actor. Better actor than what I thought she would be. She's a good actor. But Janelle Monae, she's 5 foot tall.
Yeah,
that's a problem because
that's a big problem.
That's a big problem when it comes to, what we're talking about here. I'm sorry, that's a problem. She is 5 feet tall. So I'm trying to find. There's a couple of, and people have been going hard. I know she probably got a team working hard for her, boy. Because here we go. Here's a picture of her right here, a drawing, not a picture. Someone did some artwork of her, of what she would look like as Storm, and she looks nice from the chest up. It looks great, but the fact that the character of Storm, what is she? 5'11" in the comics, maybe.
Yeah, 5'11". Yeah.
So the character in the comics is 5'11". Now, Halle Berry's not 5'11", but that's besides the point. But the character is 5'11". You're talking about she wants to be in the Black Panther sequel. Chadwick Boseman is 6 feet. So she's a whole foot shorter than him. And yeah, we know you could put the boots on and give her some inches on the boots. If you did that, you could shoot angles like we talked about how they shoot Tom Cruise. He shot a lot from the, from bottom up, looking upward, because the scene with Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill is way taller than Tom Cruise. But the scene with them fighting, they looked about the same height because the whole if people who may not realize that, we're talking about the Mission Impossible. What was the name of that last one? It was the last Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill in it. And it's the fight scene. Right. That whole fight scene was shot pretty much from angle. When they were on screen together, it was angled up. You know what I'm saying? It was like on a lower angle on that, so it made them both look tall,
right,
the same height. So I believe Janelle Monae is just she's too short. I hate to say it. I'm not height shaming, but I think she's too short for that role. I just
listen. See the you need an actress that has to be at a minimum, in my opinion. And it's not to say that she can't do it, but it would be a lot of work, particularly on the director and the DP, to come up with shots to make her seem taller than what she is. And that also depends on how they shoot the rest of the cast, the heights of the rest of the cast, which obviously most people, the rest of the cast, are going to be taller than her.
Yeah.
But the average actress needs to be, if you're going with authentic Storm from the comics.
Yeah.
Just with bare feet height, got to be at least 5'7", because if you put a 3-inch heel, a 4-inch heel, or boot, depending on, and Storm is normally in boots. So if you put on a high heel boot, that's going to boost you up to about 5'10", 5'11", right there if you're 5'7". So like some of the actresses that could do it, Yaya DaCosta, she's 5'8". Naomi Harris is 5'8". Anna Diop is 5'8". Tika Sumpter is 5'7". Megalyn Ikanuki is 5'7". Kiki Lane is 5'9".
Yeah, everybody we mentioned pretty much are all in that range.
Range,
You know what I'm saying? In that between 5'7", 5'9" range. That's a perfect height to be, because you can't expect everybody to be tall, So that's a good height. And then you throw a couple of,
and they have the look.
And they
got height and the look.
Yeah, they all have the look. So I mean,
and the actor chop.
And the actor chops, exactly. Like I said, it's not to take away from Janelle Monae's acting chops. She can act. And she might be able to pull off Storm. She might be. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how they write Storm. If they write Storm the way Storm's supposed to be written, it is going to take acting chops to pull her off. If they write her like how they've been writing her, reason why Halle Berry complained from the beginning is because she really had nothing to say, and it was like really no acting to it. If they continue to write and like how they wrote Alexandra Shipp, her role was really nothing going on. She didn't really have nothing to say. If they do it like that, then anybody can play her if that's the case. If they do it like that.
Yeah, and in my opinion, if they're gonna go with Janelle Monae, they might as well just stick with Alexandra Shipp.
If they're gonna go with, because now Alexandra Shipp, how tall is she? And she's short too.
Yeah, she's like 5'4". She's like 5'4". Hold on, I'll let you know right now.
She's like 5'4".
Oh, she's 5'6".
She's 6'6". Yeah, so she's taller than Janelle Monae. Like I said, I think she, the artwork that they've been doing with her, it looks good. That looks good. But I mean, that's fine. But you still have to deal with the fact that height, man. Her standing up next to, she has to be able to stand up next to Chadwick Boseman. And be, it's just like when they were casting Wonder Woman, right? They cast Wonder Woman. They wanted someone who was naturally kind of tall. You know what I'm saying? Because you knew that Henry Cavill was over 6 feet. You knew that Ben Affleck was over 6 feet. So you're going to be on camera with these two dudes that are over 6 feet tall.
And Wonder Woman is an Amazon.
Right. And of course, Wonder Woman's an Amazon. So you had to get somebody who was naturally tall, you know what I'm saying, instead of trying to get somebody who's halfway there and put tall boots on them. You know what I mean? Like, it's just right. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think she would be okay. And I think she'll be able to pull it off acting wise, I suppose. Like I said, depending on how the character's written. I mean, there's another Storm picture of her I was looking for, but anyway,
there's another one, the one with her and T'Challa together.
Yeah, there is one. I think I have that here too. Let me share that for the people so they can see it. Let me bring it over here. We'll share the screen, and then so all the people watching can see what we're talking about. Nice picture, good picture. There you go. Yeah, it's good, but that's inaccurate. She's not that tall. With her standing there, she's probably.
Well, this is not to cut you off, but see, this is what you was talking about before with Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
it's not that she's tall.
Yeah.
It's the angle.
It's not that she's taller. It's the camera angle from the bottom up.
Yeah.
So because they shot it from the bottom up, that makes her, that gives the illusion of her being the same height as him.
Yeah.
But in actuality, if you actually raise the camera up and you level it off, she's a couple of inches shorter, and it's just her hair that makes her look taller.
Yeah, you could tell because her head stops about right here. And her head, even in this angle, is right here at his forehead. The top of her head is at his forehead, pretty much, right there.
Is that right? Just under, like right by his eyebrows, the top of his nose.
Yeah. Top of his nose. That's pretty much where the top of her head is. So, like you said, the hair makes it look taller. The angle makes her look taller. or more even with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all camera angles,
Right.
camera tricks. Tom Cruise mastered it. He's been doing it for years. Tom Cruise is the master of camera angles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it comes to, he knows how he should be shot, and you know, it comes in making him look good on camera. So, like I said, it looks good. She looks good in the artwork. You know what I mean? And I don't, like I said, I don't think she would do bad, but I really would not want to see her cast as Storm. It's like they have to be so delicate. We talked about this on the Director's Cut show. They have to be so careful with who and how they cast this character, especially now with all the Black Lives Matter and everything going on. Everything is pro-Black right now. You cannot mess this up.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Okay, I'm gonna be nice because it's a live stream, so I'm gonna choose my words wisely.
Okay,
but this to the cancel culture and the black and the whole Black Lives Matter, as far as when it comes to TV. Listen, they should be able to do what they need to do without getting the backlash. I mean, listen, we should be happy that we even getting what we got. And I understand, yes, we need to have representation, and she needs to be represented the right way. True, 100%. But this like that was my whole problem with everybody before with Alexandra Shipp. Like, and she was actually darker in that movie than what she normally is. Like, it was almost like she went out and got a tan to perform the role.
Yeah, she is a little darker because remember when she played Aaliyah, she was lighter. When she played in the Aaliyah movie, she was more light.
Right.
To be like, because Aaliyah.
And again, it's all lighting. Again, that's the other thing we got to remember too. It's all lighting. So depending on how they light her, she's going to look. You know, she's going to look a lot lighter than what she would normally be because of the lighting. If they, you know, if they're lighting, if they're using like a more natural lighting, then her natural skin tone is going to come forward a little bit more. So, you know, that's the other thing, lighting and how they color correct it in post. You know, that's the other thing. You know, there's a lot of tricks to it. Like I said, you know, I love Janelle Monae. It would be nice if she could play the role, but again, she's too short. And Ralph even said the same thing, that she's too short. But in my opinion, if you're gonna go that route, stick with Alexandra Shipp. If you're gonna do that, stick with the girl who's already played the role, and then give her more script. Give her more to play.
They're not gonna do it though. They you know they're not gonna do it. You know the MCU. It'll be very. I'll be very surprised if the MCU brings anybody from the Fox world other than Deadpool. Even though we gotten so used to, you know, certain people playing these characters, a dude playing Magneto and all of that stuff. I'd be very surprised because I think they'd probably just go. I mean, you can't, once they're ready to do X-Men, by the time they're ready to do X-Men, they may bring Fassbender back. They may cast another person, but by the time they're ready to do X-Men, it's going to be so far down the line. They're going to, I think they're trying to let the wounds heal before they bring out, you know, like, and do a full-fledged X-Men film. Like Kevin Feige said, it's at least 5 years down the line. And, you know,
what they're doing is
they're trying to do other films.
Go ahead.
No, I was kind of saying what I think you were about to say. They're going to introduce different characters through some of the new films in the new phase.
Yeah,
but, they're going to do that, which is what they should do. They should take their time and do like they did with Avengers, because number one, we're not missing the X-Men yet. The X-Men are just a few years removed, so we're not missing them yet. Number two, you know, you gotta take your time and build these characters. You could bring in other characters or rebuild the characters the way it's supposed to be. I guarantee you, no matter who he brings its cameos in other films, I guarantee you, Kevin Feige is going to do the original 5 X-Men. He's going to do it the right way. I guarantee you.
More than likely.
Guarantee you. Because I can't see him doing it any other way. And for the people who are listening and watching, and they may not be big comic fans, so they don't know any better. You see like the first X-Men movie, and you're like, oh great, it was good. It was good for its time. But you know, the man behind all of that, Bryan Singer, you know, he was a director that didn't respect comic books. He didn't respect source material. So he kind of just did his own thing with the X-Men based on the little bit of things that he knew about them, maybe from watching cartoons. And you know what they're gonna do is they're gonna find a way to mix in the first 5.
He was a douchebag.
Yeah, I think so. They're gonna find a way to mix in them, even if it's in a flashback where you have the original 5. You know what I'm saying? Which the original 5 X-Men, for those who care and who may not know, you know, I'm just saying, you know, we're dealing with people on every side here. You know, some people probably don't care. They're like, I don't give a shit about the original 5 X-Men. For those who care to know, the original 5 X-Men is Beast, the Angel, Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Iceman. That's the original 5. Okay. I'm showing my nerd side right now, but it's all good. This is real talk, man. You know, so but in that original 5 was never ever represented on film the way it was supposed to. When I heard the title X-Men First Class, I was so amped. I thought that the original 5, that is the actual First Class. This First Class that they made up out of nowhere. And never existed. And how the hell you have in the First Class you got Havoc and not
doing wait, and I gotta stop you there. You got Havoc doing damn hula hoops to use his powers. What the hell? What is those? What is that? In my Shuri voice. What is that?
Yeah. God. Hula hoops for his, it was just weird. You had all of these people, like, you know, it was just stupid. It was, let's call it what it was. It was stupid.
Oh, and another note too, with the original 5 was also Beast didn't have his he wasn't furry then. He was hairy, but he wasn't an actual Beast.
No, he wasn't furry. He that in the original he had not grown, because what happens is Beast mutated, his mutation grew, and he became the hairy Beast later. But when they first started, he had the Beast like still features, the big feet.
He still had the agility.
The agility. He had all of that, but what he did not have was hair, like hairy, like all around.
And he wasn't blue.
He wasn't blue, yeah. So I think that would be interesting to do an original 5. You know, even if you did it, like I said, in a flashback or part of the movie, because you can't have they know for the sake of for the fans, you cannot not have Wolverine somewhere in the film, because he's the fan favorite. So you can't not have Wolverine. We understand that. Obviously you'll have Professor X. Really anyone else they can fool around with, you know what I mean? But I really would like to see how they introduce the mutants into the MCU, because for all you Avengers fans, fans of the movies as well as the comics, if you're a fan of the comic, you should know that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are mutants. So now they never mentioned that in any of the films, because at the time the MCU did not own the rights to the word mutants. Fox owned it. So Fox used mutants, and the MCU started. They still had Inhumans. They could use Inhumans.
Right.
Inhumans and mutants are two different things. So, Scarlet Witch, who's in, what's she in? She's in 3 films, right? Or 4?
3.
3. She's in Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So,
and actually, no, I'm sorry, and Age of Ultron.
Oh, and Age of Ultron. So she's in 4. Wow, that went quick. So she's in 4 movies. They never mentioned her being a mutant. In actuality, spoiler alert for those who care, she's actually Magneto's daughter. So yeah. She's one of Magneto's daughters. He has 2. She's one of Magneto's daughters, and Quicksilver, who was in Age of Ultron, who died for whatever reason. That proof that he's not faster than the Flash, because he got shot. Look how you get shot in Quicksilver. You're supposed to be so fast.
He got shot because he was fast enough. Actually, he was fast enough to get in front of the bullet before it hit Hawkeye, which was what he was trying to do.
The Flash would have moved Hawkeye out the way.
True.
That's proof that he's not faster than the Flash, because that a real speedster would have moved Hawkeye out of the way. He's a real.
Oh, you know what? Remember, Hawkeye had a baby in his hand too. That was the other thing. Hawkeye was on the ground with the baby.
A real speedster.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
That's right. I'm gonna get nerdy real quick. A real speedster would have ran faster than the bullet, grabbed the bullet, turned it around, and put it back towards in the direction of where it was shot from. That's what a real speedster would have did.
But a real hero would lay down on the grenade, and that's what he did.
Yeah, okay.
He took the bullet.
Yeah, he took the bullet. But I'm gonna quote Iron Man on this one. What did Iron Man say? I'd probably. What did he say? He said, you gotta be willing to jump on the grenade." And what did Iron Man say to that?
I can't remember what he said, but he had some kind of smart.
He said some slick shit. So I'm like, that's a whole nother story.
It was something along the lines of, "I would just knock the grenade out of the way."
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't the exact words, but he said something like that. I'm just like, that's funny. But yeah. So anyway, that's all that whole thing with that. So Janelle Monae, back to her. Nope, sorry. Get a thumbs down from the crew. I believe we're all in agreements with that. No disrespect.
Well, actually, a little sideways. I'll give her a little sideways. It's not down, but it's not up. If they decide to do it, I'm on board with it. But I think there were other choices out there that they can go with and still be able to stay true to the character without having to compromise in height.
Possible. I mean, like I said, I just think they could definitely. Yeah, they need this. They need to cast properly on this one, man. They got to. I mean, on all of them. I mean, the MCU, that's a perfect segue to pretty much our last topic of the night is, talking about like the MCU. I just watched something with how the MCU is built from the beginning and the ground. It was really exciting watching that little thing that's on Disney Plus. And I wish it was longer because it was made a few years ago. They should have waited to make that until after Endgame, because it was called like building a universe or something like that, or assembling a universe.
Yeah,
assembling a universe. I thought it was awesome how they did that. They went from Iron Man all the way up to where they stopped in this one at I think they stopped at the Winter Soldier. Because so it was, yeah. But anyway, you had all of those movies that built into that one long story arc, the Infinity Saga, the Infinity Story arc. And in between that, we got to meet, and I'm saying we when I mean I'm representing the fans. We obviously already knew these characters from the comic books, and you know whatever. But a lot of fans got to be introduced to characters like Scarlet Witch, characters like Doctor Strange, characters like Division. Some people, that wasn't up on that, but the whole point is, of what's her name, Captain Marvel, all of that. Now going forward, they're going into the new phase. It's obvious when I watched that MCU thing, I was like, it really makes me like think how great that whole experience was. You used to always say it, Kev. It's good to be alive in this day and age to see these films come to pass.
Yeah.
It was great to be alive to experience that Infinity Saga. The Guardians of the Galaxy is another set of characters that a lot of people didn't know before the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So now going into phase 4, the question is, are they really going to be able to live up to what they did the first 10 years? So I guess they're gonna set up another 10 years. I mean, that's a tall order, dude. Not only think about what they did. Not only did they give you some great stories, they sought out some actors they really kind of help shoot their career, and the ones that they didn't help shoot their career, they were already good actors, already big actors. They go for the best actors, the best writers, the best directors, the best storytellers. They have the best effects team, everything. And how are they going to be able to live up to that going forward?
I'll tell you how. Doing the same thing they did before, but only different. Follow the comics. Respect the origin material. Just respect what's canon, and make changes as you need to, and adjust the story as you need to fit today's times, and also for people like Ralph, the non-comic nerds, because you still have to. There's still a factor, so you still have to make it enjoyable and enjoyable for them, but that's how they have the winning formula. They have the winning formula, and they work as a team, and they believe in their directors, and they believe in their creatives, and above all, teamwork makes the dream work. Everybody is on the same page. You cannot, will not, and never will a vision come to pass, nor will it be fruitful if you are not following the vision. If you're not all on the same page, you will end up with another Jeff Johns situation. You have your haters, and then you have your people that want to see the vision go forward, but you got your haters who have their own vision, and instead of bringing their vision into the fold and making it become one, they want to eliminate everybody else. This is why Marvel is going to continue to win, and why I'm expecting it. See, that's the other thing too. Let's not put the expectation out there of you have to do greater than the Infinity Saga, because you know what? Nothing is going to beat, regardless of whatever they do, even if what they do ends up being better. And I'm just future forecasting. Let's just say 15 years down the road, we come to the end of the new saga, and we're like, wow, this was even better than Infinity Saga. You know what? Actually, no, it was what it was for what it was. And whether it's better or whether it's not, is always going to be debated. But Infinity Saga was what it was. And on top of all of that, the other reason why you have to lower your expectations is because we're living in the era of we're just getting this stuff. In the 10-year period, we're seeing our dreams realized. I mean, just Iron Man alone, I'm still not getting over Iron Man. I still watch Iron Man with.
I watch all of that stuff, man. I mean,
the same. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna tell you what can. I'm gonna tell you what could match up to the Infinity Saga. If they, now that they got everything full circle, if they did Dark Phoenix the way Dark Phoenix is supposed to be, that will match the Infinity Saga, because they could stretch Dark Phoenix out as many movies as it was in the Infinity Saga. They could stretch.
True, and that would be, you know what, I'll agree with you, and the only reason why I'll agree with you is because that would be, even though the Dark Phoenix saga did kind of sort of cross over into other books like Spider-Man and stuff, very few that it crossed over to, because it mostly stayed within the X titles, like X Factor, X Force. It really stayed inside of those. Inside of those, you know what I mean. But it stayed within those titles. It didn't really go outside of, and really venture off too far into the other books. It mostly stayed inside of the X books. So for it to be, once they get all the X-Men introduced, which I in my opinion, I think they're leading up to Secret Wars, or they're probably going to do Avengers, or they'll do Avengers versus X-Men. And then the end of Avengers versus X-Men will lead into Secret Wars.
They might be able to do that. That would be good. And there's a lot of story arcs that they could do that's really good. We already know that they're already building on the Spider-Man front. They're building the Sinister Six. All right, that story arc. And the Sinister Six, for people who may not know, is basically 6 of Spider-Man's his arch enemies, which we want to call them. They band together, right? And they they all kind of get together to try to take out Spider-Man. So we've seen,
think they're going to keep it accurate to the books?
Well, so far we've seen in Spider-Man Homecoming, we saw the Vulture, and he's a member. And in Spider-Man Far From Home, we saw Mysterio. They're both founding members of that. They're both like original members. And now the rumor is that in the third Spider-Man, the villain will be Kraven the Hunter, who is also a member of the Sinister Six. So they're obviously doing the Sinister Six.
Right. And then from there, they just need 3 more movies. Which is going to be Sandman, Doc Ock, and Electro.
Yeah. Sandman, Doc Ock, and Electro, and then there you go. You got them. So I mean, I can see them doing that, and then that would actually just lead up to a 7th movie, which would be the Sinister Six movie. If all of them banding together. There's a lot they could do with that. So they still got the characters and they unpack them. Like they're brilliant at what they did, because every movie, but it's just like, I just feel like because the way they ended Infinity War, because they were ending that Endgame, they're closing the chapter on that, which really they didn't, because the Spider-Man movie was really the last movie from that whole chapter. That supposedly closed the chapter. Because now you're gonna go and they kind of set it up. Because I was a little upset at first the way Endgame ended. I wasn't upset the way it ended, but that it didn't have a end credit scene. I was upset because I'm like, what's next, And then Spider-Man ended up with the end credit scene that's setting up the Sinister Six, basically. And like you said, it might be a Secret Wars thing. Go into that. We'll see. But either way, I don't know. So coming up, we got the Black Widow movie is really kind of like irrelevant to this new phase because she's not really going to be in it. You know what I mean? So I'm just excited to see it, just to see it. You got the what are they called? The Eternals. Like the Eternals, they're gonna have to do the same thing with the Eternals, like they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's like there's so many people that don't know about the Eternals and who they are, what they do, what they are, and they're like, it's like starting over, right? So
Yeah, and also, and because of the wide range of connective tissue with the Eternals to the
yeah,
rest of the Marvel universe. I mean,
yeah,
you have. I'm sure when they show this movie, they're going to show a young Thanos, because Thanos is, technically speaking, he is an Eternal, and he's actually a deviant. Because he has the deviant gene. That's why he looks the way he looks, because he has the deviant gene. So there's a lot of connective tissues, even with them, even with the connective tissue with mutants. So it's this movie is actually going to be huge as far as connections is concerned,
it
and just
is.
an overall explanation of
Yeah,
where where mutants come from. And but my thing is, how they're going to explain, like, why they weren't involved, or why they chose not. Well, actually, we already know why they chose not to be involved. It was because at the time their minds were wiped, so they didn't know that they were Eternals. They didn't know they had powers,
yeah,
so they couldn't be involved in the Infinity War and in Endgame, because
yeah,
I believe that if they're sticking with the story arc, they're going to stick with the fact that they didn't know, they forgot, because of Sprite, they forgot their abilities and their powers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they might, what I'm expecting Kevin Feige and all of what they do so brilliantly to tie everything in. Somehow or another, they're going to tie Thanos into the Eternals.
Oh, well, he is.
I mean,
Well,
we already know that he is tied in, but what I mean is they're going to make sure that he's in tied into the film somehow.
oh no, he's. I don't know if it's going to be in the internals, but I was listening to a YouTube video today, and they would talk about exactly what you're talking about. That they are going to, the speculation is,
Yeah,
supposedly, that they are going to bring, like, there's going to be another version of Thanos that they're going to bring into the MCU, but he's not going to be. I guess it's not going to be the Thanos that we know.
yeah. Well, yeah, I can imagine that. But I mean, they're gonna tie it in somehow, And like I said, I'm looking for, but I have to be honest here, and I have the nerve to be this way after all the 10 years of some great film and entertainment that Marvel has shown me, but I'm not that excited about the new phase yet. Maybe I will be after I start seeing some stuff. All the stuff
But that's
that's gonna be on
perfect.
all the stuff that's gonna be on Disney Plus. I'm just like, yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, I was never excited when I first heard the announcement of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was never really excited about that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll watch it, of course. When they announced She-Hulk, yeah, I guess. Like, I'm really not excited about what's coming. Like, when the MCU first started, I was excited about almost every film that was on the pipeline, except for Guardians of the Galaxy. But Guardians of the Galaxy ended up being one of my favorite films in the whole lineup. So maybe that'll happen with these new films too. You know what I'm saying? But just as far as
Well, you got to remember now.
me just being excited.
Yeah. Well, and now you got to remember. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, you got to remember too. Again, we weren't getting that content. We were getting comic book movies, but we were getting, we were getting the offshoot stuff, but we weren't really getting, like, we were getting Constantine, and we did get Blade and what have you. We did get a Ghost Rider, whatever, but we were getting these on this level with this kind of storytelling. So it was kind of brand new. Obviously it's like, oh man, we're getting Thor, and oh damn, we're getting that. We're getting Ant-Man. Whoa, we're getting Black Panther. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's the same thing, but the difference is because in particular with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is because we lived with these characters for so long, we're used to them. So it's kind of sort of like, okay, this is the next evolution. Let's see where they go. And on top of that, it's going to TV. The reason why it's exciting is because it proved point that I said 4 or 5 years ago on this show, or 4 years ago, whatever, on this show, when we had the discussion about how they would never, ever, 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 ever connect television and movies together. And here we are.
Yeah, no,
about to get connective tissue.
Yeah, with the movies and the
legitimate connective tissue.
No, yeah, I agree. Ralph, who's actually, he's traveling, and happy birthday to you. Shout out to Ralph. He did put a question in. He said, which do we think should be done first, X-Men or Fantastic Four? And in which phase do you think it should be done? So basically he's asking, well, that's pretty much what he's asking. We know that going forward, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to do the X-Men and they're going to do the Fantastic Four, because that was the whole reason of them buying Fox, right? To get their property back. So which do you think they should do first? Honestly, I think they should do the Fantastic Four first, because, like, I'm going to go with what Kevin Feige said. I think he wants to kind of let the X-Men blow over a little bit, because he's going to recast everybody for the most part. So if he did it right now and start recasting people, you're going to have people in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, oh, no, you should bring back Michael Fassbender as Magneto. You should bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Everyone, is going to be in their feelings if they recast some of the people that were our favorite people playing these characters, right? Now, it's safer to do the Fantastic Four because people are already excited about the rumors of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt playing Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic, right? Reed Richards and Sue Storm Richards. So I would do them first, because it could be a one-off or it could continue. It wouldn't be a one-off, but I'm just saying, not with the MCU. And then you got them introduced as well. And then you can always do X-Men later, because if you're going to spend time, like what we're speculating, if they're going to take Black Panther and introduce Storm,
that's going to be Storm and Wolverine,
right? That's going to be her, right? And maybe Wolverine, maybe, but I heard rumors that Wolverine might get introduced in the next Captain Marvel movie, because they do have history as well.
Right. No, he's going to be in that, but he's going to get his suit. They're saying that him and Shuri are going to be working together, because Shuri is going to make his suit for him when they go to visit whatchamacallit, what's the island name that's called Savage Land in Antarctica.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't hear that, but yeah, that's what's up. So he made cameo in both. So they're gonna introduce them, and they're gonna introduce more like mutants and stuff. But I believe I would do Fantastic Four first, and because that is the first family of Marvel. You know what I'm saying? They are Marvel's first family. So I know that all of the Kevin Feige's, along with all of us as fans, were cringing at all of them Fantastic Four movies. I mean, they were decent. The first one was decent for what it was. Chris Evans was good as Johnny Storm. Obviously he's not going to be Johnny Storm anymore, but because he's now Captain America. But yeah, that last one was like, I just want to forget that one. That last one was just terrible. That last, like, they just, Fox, once again, you're dealing with people that don't want to listen, that don't want to, and they had a decent director for that last one. That's the dude who directed Chronicle, which I thought was a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't. Nah. It didn't work.
I agree. I agree. I think they are going to go. Well, the Fantastic Four is going to come up first, and they're going to pop up first inside of Ant-Man 3. That's probably where they're going to premiere first. You have to do, and in my opinion, you have to do the Ant-Man first because we've already did Civil War. They've already touched on a couple of things. So now you have to bring the Illuminati to the table. And Reed Richards is part of the Illuminati. Professor Xavier is a part of the Illuminati. Namor is a part of the Illuminati. T'Challa declined to be a part of the Illuminati. And Iron Man is a part of. That's the only factor that's going to be missing is Iron Man being a part of the Illuminati. So we have to see how they're going to bring him back, or whether they're going to bring him back as an AI, and he's going to be a part of the Illuminati.
I think that would be the smartest thing and craftiest thing to do, because they're so with the whole AI, the whole artificial intelligence stuff. If he and Tony Stark is the type that is cocky enough to do something like that, download his consciousness and create basically like he had Friday and like he had Jarvis. You know what I mean? Jarvis became Vision, right? So I could see him as an AI, something like that, or just like how they built Ultron. So I could see him as an AI, which would be interesting. But we'll see. I would be
then from there, and as you,
I lost you there, Kev, for a second.
As they were saying in Ant-Man, that supposedly that they're stuck in that city, that small city, that what's his face is God, I forget her name, Michelle Pfeiffer's character. The city, where she was from in the quantum realm, which is really, I don't care what nobody say, it's really supposed to be called the microverse, but unfortunately Marvel doesn't have the rights to that name, so it's called the quantum realm. So supposedly Fantastic Four is actually stuck in the quantum realm, and that's how they're going to explain them not being involved in the events of going all the way back to the first Avengers movie. Like they're going to show them probably getting stuck in the quantum realm. So, and that's probably how they're going to be introduced. Is they're probably going to fight their way out of the quantum realm, which is probably going to introduce Kang the Conqueror more than likely. So it's So I kind of sort of agree. I think just story wise, it just makes sense, especially if they're going in the direction that we all think they're going in with Secret Wars and X-Men versus the Avengers and all of that stuff. So if they're going in that direction, you're going to need the Illuminati, because also hopefully they'll come up with a Hulk film, another Hulk movie. I mean, they probably won't do a standalone Hulk movie. It'll probably be Hulk in another movie, because
Hulk is always going to be partnered up with somebody. He'll always be partnered up with somebody for the most part. They're not going to do any more standalone Hulk movies, but unfortunately, I mean, I think that's how it's pretty much gonna go. Shout out to my brother Heaven Hollywood, who popped in the chat room. Shout out to everybody that's rocking out with him over in the chat room. As we, gonna be winding down on the show in a second or two, and man, like I said, the MCU going forward, I'm excited. I'm anxious, but I'm not super excited yet. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm very excited.
I'm not yet. I want to see what else. So far what the stuff they said that the Doctor Strange movie, that should be interesting, because it's gonna be probably like time travel and stuff going on in that too, because of
listen. You know what, brother? I'm gonna stop you. You my man. So I'm about to stop you. Stop bullshitting. Sam Raimi is producing the film. He's directing the film. I mean, Sam Raimi is directing Doctor Strange and in the Multiverse of Madness. You're not gonna tell me that you sit there unexcited about Sam Raimi coming back and in the MCU to do his thing. Come on, man. Listen, I am like, when they announced that news, I actually shed another tear
Yeah.
because I was like, yeah, my man is back. And it's going to be his lane. Not only is he back, but he's going to be back and doing his lane. You know, the kind of horror, you know, quote unquote horror genre that they're bringing to the film, which I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to see the other director's take on it. But the real story behind the scenes was that guy didn't think that they were going to be able to get it done in the time frame that they thought they were, and then boom, here comes coronavirus. Now you got all of the time in the world to write and develop the story like it needs to be. So thank God that they got Sam Raimi to do it. That's the other thing I wanted to mention before too, before we go on to end the show, is that the other thing that got me a little bit more excited is because of the pandemic. It gave them a little bit more time to really sit down and put this thing together and really map it out. So that's why I'm excited. I'm excited at the unknowns of the whole thing. You know, the fact that we don't know what we, you know, like we're speculating, but like we don't know. We know that whatever they do, they're going to do it right. You know, you know. But at the same time, it's just like, what are they going to do? And especially now they've had all of this time to think. And, you know, and honestly, I believe, and unfortunately, the way these numbers are respiking, and we haven't even hit the second phase yet of the pandemic. You know, it's still the first part, and it's spiking again. So I got a feeling that Black Widow is going to end up coming to the streaming service. I got a feeling.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that if they did, you know, because number one, we need to see the movie, man. Get the movie out. I mean, obviously they haven't put it out because of the pandemic. I'm hoping that they make that decision and bring it to the streaming service. You know, I'm hoping that they make that decision because
they're gonna make the money. They're gonna make the money. Everybody's gonna buy it. Because again, remember, because of social distancing, you're not gonna have 80 people trying to pile up at one friend's house to go see the movie. It's gonna be like, nah, B, go to your house and spend your $30 and enjoy it and talk to me on Zoom.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. That is exactly what's gonna happen. I just saw another what you call it there, text. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen too, man. And they definitely going to, I hope they bring it to the streaming service. Let's get that, because it's not officially part of the new phase, you know what I mean? Like storyline wise. Unless they find a way to tie something in that happened in her movie that's going to be, you know, later on, you know, like with another character. Just like they did with in Thor, how they tied in Hawkeye, you know what I mean? Like they cameoed Hawkeye in the beginning of, you know, in the Thor movie. He only had a quick little thing, you know what I mean? But it was just introduced to them saying, hey, we got this guy to play Hawkeye. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what they were telling you.
Right.
They might do something like that, maybe introduce him, but I don't think it's officially part of the new phase storyline. So if that's the case, don't even bother at this point. Coronavirus is you know, freaking, you know, messing everything up. So let's just go ahead and, you know, put it to the streaming service, because, you know, a lot of people canceled their Disney Plus after The Mandalorian went off.
Well, but then a lot of people came back because of Hamilton. They got a lot of people back because of Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton was good too, man. Hamilton, that shit was ridiculously brilliant. You know, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he is like, that dude is like a genius, yo. Not like, he is a genius. He's a genius. And I tell you right now, I don't know if anybody's ever seen Lin-Manuel Miranda like really like seriously try to rap. He's good, man. Like, he got bars.
Wow.
Yeah, he got bars, yo. I've seen him freestyle off the top. You know what I'm saying? And he's pretty good.
Okay.
Like if you see him on like I would love him to go on Sway and do the five fingers because he was on I know he was on Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Fallon does like a little thing, I forgot what it's called, the wheel of something. It's like a rap. He just kept doing something with the rap, but he would be battling Black Thought.
Oh, okay.
On who, like they basically spin for a topic, whatever the topic is. Him and Black Thought they gotta rap. They gotta just freestyle on that topic, and that's what it is. It's certain words that they have to throw into the freestyle.
Oh, okay.
That's to prove that you're truly going off the dome, because it may have like it'd be just stupid words, this word, that word, this word, and then so every time Black Thought would go, and then Lin-Manuel would go. You know what I mean? It's really cool, real cool. So I was like, oh, word, dude got bars for real. He can really rap. You know what I mean? But when you think about it, if you watched Hamilton, for anybody who watched Hamilton, the way Hamilton is broken down is so brilliant. And the fact of the matter is that this dude can write rhymes and he can write songs. You know what I'm saying? Like singing songs. That's why Disney, I'm sure, is giving him such a fat check right now, because he's been writing songs for Disney movies for the last few years. He wrote most of the songs for Moana.
It's dope too.
Yeah,
the
music was good in that. He wrote and composed most of the music for Moana. There's a couple other ones too, and I mean, come on, man. They're gonna have him going, and in that movie he was in, like what was that? Was that Mary Poppins Returns? Yeah,
I think so.
Emily Blunt, and he's got more stuff in the pipeline. But when you listen to Hamilton, and I urge you, anyone out there, if you have Disney Plus, turn on Hamilton, watch Hamilton. That freaking play, that stage play, is one of the best you'll ever see. And the way it's put together, it's telling this story, obviously, of the forefathers and stuff like that. But the way it's told in the hip hop world, and it's broken down and told through the culture of hip hop, basically. Hip hop, and it's got singing and stuff too. It's a little bit of everything. It has a lot of styles to it. But for the most part, they're rapping a lot of the time.
Oh, okay.
It's so amazing how he brought this culture, and everybody from all walks of life can relate to it, and they get a chance to watch it. And on top of that, he's got all these characters. He's historically characters that are obviously, were European people. But there's not many Europeans in this play. There's a few. You know what I'm saying? But they're mostly Latino and black actors, which is just another awesome twist to it. Alexander Hamilton himself was an immigrant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, the way it's broken down, I guess I can't say enough about it. It's just so done so well. People who, I bet you there's people out there, you might think that you won't like it. I guarantee you, if you watch it, you'll like it. Even if you don't love it, you'll like it, because you'll respect it, because you're gonna be like, yo, that's dope what he did. And he broke it down in a way where, because I mean, think about it this way: if I was going to see a play called Hamilton about Alexander Hamilton, I could care less about Alexander Hamilton. You know what I'm saying? And I probably wouldn't, just based off the name, I probably wouldn't just go see a play called Hamilton. I'm like, nah, I don't want to see that. But it's one of those things where you walk in, if you don't know what to expect, you will be so pleasantly surprised and satisfied. It's kind of like, it's not the same, but I mean, like, I remember when the movie Mr. Brooks came out, and Kevin Costner, Mr. Brooks. I kind of went in to see that movie. I don't know why I saw it. It was just like there was, I believe me and my wife, we went and we missed the movie we were going to see, I think, or maybe something happened. But we didn't plan on seeing Mr. Brooks because I had no idea what it was about.
That was a good movie.
It was a really good movie. It was an excellent movie, but I didn't know what it was about. So I'm like, Mr. Brooks, and it came out around a time where I mentioned this before on the show. It came out at a time when there was another blockbuster movie that came out around that time. Like, but that wasn't a blockbuster movie. There was a blockbuster movie that came out around that time. I don't know if it was Superman Return. It was like a big movie that people were going. Mr. Brooks got kind of slid under the cracks, like it under the radar, right? So I went to see it because we were like, let's go see this. What the hell? Kevin Costner, how bad can it be? Man, I walked out of that movie like, whoa. I was like, this movie is excellent. How are people not talking about it? I guarantee you, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much movie fans are like, the people that are in the chat rooms and stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. If let holler at me if you've seen the movie Mr. Brooks, starring Kevin Costner. It's a film starring Kevin Costner where he plays a multiple personalities. He plays a character. He plays a dude who has not multiple, but a dual personality. He has more than one, so I guess it is multiple, right? So the guy he plays he's not a doctor. What is he? I forgot what his profession was, but he's a dude, whatever. But he has that alternate ego, which is Mr. Brooks, and the guy is basically a serial killer. He's a serial killer that is he's really meticulous though. Kind of like we used to watch the show Dexter, right? How Dexter was so meticulous.
Right.
Dexter. It's kind of like how Dexter was meticulous, didn't leave he didn't leave any evidence around. He was very, and the dude was like that, but he looked at his killing as an addiction. He used to actually go to like an Alcohol Anonymous class to kind of like just be able to sit and talk with people. Obviously, he can't tell people that he's addicted to killing, but he was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's what that, the basic of the movie is. Anyone who might be listening, anywhere in the chat room, I urge you, check the film out. It's called Mr. Brooks, starring Kevin Costner. Also, Dane Cook is in it. And basically, like I said, I'm not gonna give away the plot, but basically, the dude is a serial killer, and Dane Cook is just some dude who actually accidentally, he's a photographer. He does photography. He accidentally takes a picture of Kevin Costner's character killing someone. And then the ill twist that bugged me out with the whole movie is instead of so you figure, okay, he's gonna blackmail him for money because the dude had money. He sends the picture to him and says, yo, meet me or else I'm gonna send this to the papers. He meets up with Mr. Brooks. Obviously, I mean Kevin Costner's character, and you had what's my man who plays Ross from the MCU. He was in it. He was Mr. Brooks. He played the alter ego.
Right.
So they were gonna kill Dane Cook, but Dane Cook tells him, okay, I'm gonna do this. He's like, well, what do you want? You want money? No. I want to go with you the next time you kill somebody.
Bloody.
That's crazy, son. And he's like, what? He's like, yo, I want you to teach me how to kill. I want to kill. Like the next time you go to kill someone, I want to be there and I want to do it. I want to do it. And he's like, what? So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna tell no more of the plot of the story, but I think everybody should go out and see that film. Not go out, but check out that film. I'm sure you could check it out on like Amazon or something, whatever streaming service you got. I mean, like Amazon may have it. I don't know if it's on Netflix. It might be. It might be on Netflix, but you should be able to find it between Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu or something like that. Like you should be able to find Mr. Brooks. Very, 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 very good film. Underrated, flew under the radar. You know, that's what I think. You know, so anywho, we coming down to the end of the show. I wanted to end the show kind of like how we began the show, not to end it on a bad note, but I do want to once again express our deepest condolences and sympathies to the family, the friends, and the loved ones of Naya Rivera. And, we definitely, obviously everyone knows the breaking news is that they have found her body in the lake, and she is now officially pronounced dead. And like I said, we here at Real Talk, we definitely express our deepest condolences and sympathies to the family and friends and loved ones of Naya Rivera, known mostly famously for her role in the show Glee as Santana. She played the role very well. Like I said, it's gonna sound so. I almost don't want to say that she was that was one of my favorite characters, because it just seems fake. Like, oh, because now all of a sudden that's your favorite character. But anyone who knows me, that knows that I used to watch the show, my wife, my son, and my daughters, like, they all know that Santana was my favorite character. She was a lot of favorite. She was a fan favorite because her character didn't give no fucks. You know what I'm saying? So her character gave no fucks, and she was, that's why she was a fan favorite, the character itself. And you had her and her and Leah Michelle, who played the main character in the show. They had their issues in real life and everything, and even before, but their characters was what I was interested in. Their characters' little rivalries was so awesome. You know what I mean? It was done very well. So it's tragic, man. My heart and my prayers, I urge you, like I said, whatever you pray to, whoever you pray to, I urge you to pray, say a prayer for the young boy, the child that Naya Rivera's child, so that had to witness that and be there and see it. It's can't imagine it. So once again, condolences and rest in peace to Naya Rivera. So,
and also
uh-huh.
before we go, we also rest in peace to Kelly Preston as well.
Yes,
John Travolta's wife.
Yes, Kelly Preston. Also, rest in peace to Kelly Preston, who I believe did she have cancer? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Lost her battle to cancer. So, and who else was? There's someone else who just passed too. It always happens in threes, man. That's no coincidence. That's just weird. But yeah, man, it's not a good look, man. It's really sad thing. This Naya Rivera was 33 years old. She was born in like 87, something like that. Young. You know what I mean? Very young. It's just this stuff is just crazy, man. I personally don't understand how. I don't understand. I just see like I said, when we brought up that wrestler who was swimming with his son, and he's drowned as well.
Yeah.
But thank God he had the lifeguard. He told the lifeguard to save his son, which he did, and the son survived. That's tragic too. That son had to witness that.
Yeah.
He's with that now. Father did a noble thing, saved him. Made sure he was safe. And it's just these type of things you hate hearing about. You hate hearing about it. I mean, all of the deaths were tragic. From the other two, they committed suicide for their own reasons, and that's a whole nother show to talk about. That whole thing. Which I remember I was gonna do a show not on suicide, of course, but what I did want to do is I wanted to express my dislike for one particular Netflix show called 13 Reasons Why. And I felt that show glorifies suicide.
It doesn't.
It does. It does.
Doesn't.
It does. And I don't like the way they presented it. And it's, I don't like that show. I was like, I always condemned it. I was like, this is not what we need to be seeing. This is not what the youth need to be seeing.
But but you can say that about anything. What we don't need to see. I mean, but it's just it's talking about the real life situations. Real life, particularly with teens. It's the good thing about when that movie came out is it got the conversation going. It got people really involved and started really talking about teen suicide, and specifically with people being bullied and what have you, whatever the reasons why. But it started a discussion. It made people think, above anything else. It made people think like, wait a minute, this is something that needs to be discussed. Like, it made people really talk to their kids more and really get in tune with what was, with how their kids are feeling and what's going on with them. Because as we all know, kids don't talk to their parents and tell their parents everything. Sometimes stuff is heavy, in particular if you're dealing with being bullied, and you're already dealing with your own insecurities and inadequacies as a kid. So
it gave ideas to kids to possibly
listen. No. We listen. No, we're gonna put that to bed. Listen, that's just like that foolishness back in the '80s when all of these parents were trying to rise up and say, kids were committing suicide because of rock and roll music, because of heavy metal,
right.
because heavy metal is making our kids commit suicide and all of this stuff. No, listen, your kids are committing suicide, or they're doing the things that they're doing because of their own actions, because of the choices that they are making, whether right or wrong, or however you want to put it.
Right.
There are not to say they're not outside influences that can spark an idea, but you know what? If you're already dealing with something, particularly if you're dealing with depression, if you're dealing with low self-esteem, if your self-worth, if you don't feel wanted, if you don't feel neglected, if you're a parent that don't talk to your kids, or you're a parent that always curses at your kids and treats your kids like crap, then obviously your kids are going to have some kind of breakdown emotionally and mentally on the inside. That's going to eventually lead up to and particularly on top of all of that, kids have to deal with all of that and peer pressure. As adults, we have to deal with other pressures on top of the pressures that we have to deal with. But as adults, we learn to cope. We learn how to deal. We learn how to systematically flow through life to deal with those things. Teens and children don't know how to handle that. They only think that their way out is suicide. This is why with teens, I don't.
Well, I wouldn't blanket it like that, because not all teens are like that, and not all children.
Not all teens are like that.
I know everybody has been through their moments and things of that nature, and been, I've been down Everyone feel down. They've been out, whatever. I mean, at no point in my life ever has that ever crossed my mind. It has to do with my relationship with my parents, my relationship with my God, or whatever, you know. All of that comes into play, and it starts at home. So, you know, you can't blanket it by saying teens can't handle peer pressure, because some can.
Well, I wasn't blanking it to say all, but I'm saying on a level, teens, as I'm saying, the comparison between an adult and a teenager.
Yeah.
Some teens can't deal with it, and other teens do deal with it. Like, that's why I said coping mechanisms. Other teens do deal with it. They deal with their insecurities by being the bully. They deal with their insecurities by doing other things, by doing drugs or getting high or being sexually active. They find other ways to be out.
I just don't think 13 Reasons Why really taught anybody anything. It was no teaching, and it was nothing really learned from it. It was entertaining, and it was interested to, you know, it was sad and all that other stuff. But
it wasn't supposed to be a lesson learned. It was a story that was told. It might not be
when you're dealing with something that serious and that deadly, that dangerous, you should at least.
Okay, but what makes that? What makes that
something?
What makes that any less than child trafficking or any other the other issues that they in other programs that we see on TV? What makes that any less than anything else we see on TV? It's a part of reality. It's a part of life. It's
because
a part
it was marketed. It was marketed to the same. It was marketed to teens and young people. The way it was marketed to them, you're speaking directly to them. It's just like if parents would be outraged if cartoons was marketed a certain way, right? If cartoons was marketed a certain way to kids to make them, you know, whatever, parents would be outraged for that. And, you know, like I said, I don't want to get into the whole thing because it's a whole nother.
No, but some would, but for the most part. So why are people not getting outraged about drinking and most of these shows, and specifically the CW shows, a lot of these shows that deal with teens show a lot of sex, with teens having sex and teens drinking.
Yeah, a lot of these CW shows they're not teens. They're all like in their 20s and stuff.
No, like, but some of them are teens. All right, I'll put it like this: some of the shows are teens. Like
they may be marketed to teens, but they are adults. So it's a little different when you see, if you're a teen and you see adults doing things, it's a little different than you're a teen and you see people your age doing things. That's why the movie Kids got so much controversy. The movie Kids got so much controversy because of that. Larry Clark created, directed the movie Kids.
Reality. That was a true fact reality of life.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is I understand that. I'm not saying that it wasn't, and I'm not saying that this other show wasn't. But like I said, I just didn't like the way they did it. I didn't like the way they did it.
I don't think they did anything wrong. The only thing I think they didn't
unpack it right to me. If you're gonna go through all of that and put all these episodes, and every different episode is, you know, she's blaming another person for why they committed suicide and this, that, and the other. And you know, you gotta unpack all of that. I didn't get the message in it. All I got was, you know, what was there. But
again, it was a story.
We could bring it back. Yeah, but the filmmakers from that was trying to play it off like they were trying to come at it like they were trying to, you know, teach you something. You know what I'm saying?
I think what they were trying to tell people was like, look, suicide is real amongst teens. This is a conversation to be had. But people weren't. But see, we know it, but people weren't having that conversation.
Yeah, well, like I said, I guess
they weren't having the conversation.
We'll disagree.
Period. They weren't having the conversation. They needed to have the conversation, man.
I'm gonna end the show on a better note than that garbage. I'm gonna end the show.
It wasn't garbage. Stop it. You're hating.
That show is I'm not with it. I'm in the show on a better note. Before we go, we're gonna go here. Everybody, sorry, Will. I have to do it one more time. Yeah. Sorry. Here we go. If Will and Jada were Jamaican, enjoy.
As far as what? Your bun.
Besides that,
What happened?
yeah, go put them
That's the blood class. Yeah, real content of it. Yes, it suck me like mango pit. What you mean? But it's me cocky long and it strong. Me give your bun first, but me feel like you're heartless and you're whore. Listen, I just wanted to feel good. It's been so long since I felt good. Yeah, man, you're evil.
I'm sorry. I had to.
Besides, you go burn me back. So what happened?
He said,
yeah, and I got into an entanglement
with Kaki.
And that me say. Entanglement? Yes. That's the blood class. Yeah, real content of it. Yes, like mango pit. I mean,
Yeah, he said he sucked me like mango pit.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yo, that is the funniest thing I've seen all week. He said he sucked me like mango pit. Oh my god, that's so funny. Anyway, on that note, we're going to end the show. Well, thank everybody that joined us tonight. Thanks to everybody in the chat rooms, Heaven Hollywood, the heavy hitters, everybody that came through and supported. I always appreciate it. You guys coming through, listening. I don't know if you really get into when I start talking the nerd stuff, but this is what we do on Real Talk. We talk about movies. So, but we had to talk about Will and Jada because, hey, Will is a movie star, Jada's a movie star, and there you go. It's in the news. So, everybody over at Facebook, appreciate you joining us as usual. My girl Emily left a message. Shout out to her. Everybody at Blog Talk, we thank you again for joining us. And we will catch y'all next week. We'll be back again. And we'll be back on the live stream Sunday for the director's cut. That's obviously our show that we really unpack our nerd stuff. So that's the nerd stuff right there. We really unpack the nerd stuff on the director's cut. And we'll come back next week and do some more Real Talk. Everybody get a chance. If you get a chance, check out last week's Real Talk when we had Winston Sinclair on. We did the show about Spike Lee. Great show. It's still on the YouTube. It's on the Facebook. I'll reshare those links. Check them out. Winsome was a great guest. She really gave some insight about how her work with Spike Lee, and it was a really interesting show. Check it out. Give it some likes and shares and all of that, man. And we'll be back. And my brother and I will be back Saturday for the breakdown. We'll do another show of the breakdown,
my niggas.
Break it down. You can use all the time. Breakdown. Beat Street Breakdown. Yeah. So we'll be back with the breakdown next probably Saturday. And thanks a lot, people. Peace out.
Peace.